Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
A teen runs away with her 9-day-old baby, and Kentucky State Police need your help finding her.
The Franklin County Sheriff says someone is giving pocket knives, not candy, to young trick-or-treaters.
The wintry precipitation has moved out of the area, but the cold temperatures, they're going to hang around through the overnight. I'll have the latest for you.
Both candidates for U.S. Senate are making stops in the Bluegrass, hoping to rally their supporters. WKYT News starts now. We're tracking a developing story out of Williamsburg tonight. Good evening. I'm Kristen Kennedy. This afternoon, state police issued an Amber Alert for a 16-year-old mother and her baby. They say Desiree Nicole Davidson took her child, Nevaeh Sanders, from their foster parents. We're told the 9-day-old has medical conditions, and Davidson does not have her medications with her. Police believe they are in a silver Buick with license plate number 729MER. Some children in Franklin County got more of a trick than a treat this weekend. The sheriff says his deputies found pocket knives in a couple Halloween bags last night. Deputies were scanning bags of candy for kids at the courthouse downtown. WKYT's Mark Barber talked to the Sheriff Melton about the scare. He has our top story.
While deputies were screening trick-or-treat bags with x-ray machines here at the Franklin County Judicial Center last night, they say they found pocket knives in the treat bags of 2 young children.
It was in a couple of different little baggies, and so obviously they were dropping that as part of the treats, and it's just probably not a good thing to do, especially for smaller children. They have no business with that.
Sheriff Pat Melton tells us while deputies were scanning the treat bags, they realized a couple children weren't just carrying candy.
Somebody evidently, while they were in Lawrenceburg, had dropped a pocket knife down into the bag of candy.
Melton says the pocket knives were found inside the bags of 2 young trick-or-treaters who had been knocking on doors in Lawrenceburg.
Those little knives, a little kid could have got them, didn't know what they were. It could have been a tragic story.
Melton tells us he believes the Halloween scare probably started with good intentions.
Was there any ill intent? No. But when you got little kids and you got toddlers, anything could happen. And that's probably not an appropriate thing to hand out on Halloween to kids.
Melton says they don't plan to press charges against the person who gave the pocket knives to the children because they believe it's a case of poor judgment, not criminal intent. In Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
The sheriff says last night they scanned trick-or-treat bags for more than 50 families. Sure feels like we just went from Halloween right into winter. Make sure you bundle up tonight. It will continue to be cold. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has a first look at that chilly forecast.
Yeah, a very, very chilly forecast for us during the overnight hours tonight, as it looks like temperatures will end up in the mid-20s out there. The focus of the forecast, of course, will be the temperatures tonight, as we're talking about a hard freeze likely during the overnight and into the early morning hours for you tomorrow. A good, solid one. That's what we're talking about. We look out tonight, and we can still see a little bit of cloud cover because there's just enough light left. If we'd have gone on just a few minutes ago, beautiful sunset. But now we can just see some of that cloud cover streaming through the skies here. In Lexington, we're at 38 degrees with a northerly wind coming in at around 9 miles per hour. Now, Defender scanning, we're tracking some flakes down in Virginia. That's how close they are, especially in the higher elevations. But here in central Kentucky, it's all smooth sailing. Freeze warning in effect from basically later on tonight at midnight and through the early morning hours at 9 o'clock tomorrow before we start to see a little more sunshine come into play. It's going to be an extra long night, too, of course, because tonight is the night we set our clocks back. So we're going to have an extended period with the chilly conditions out there. We'll break down a little bit of a warm-up coming up for you in just a few minutes.
This is only the 4th time on record Lexington has seen snow on Halloween. WKYT's Mike Linden tells us this early snowfall could be setting us up for a rough winter.
Seeing snow in the middle of fall isn't out of the question, but the storm that arrived Halloween night was quite rare. Originating from the Arctic, this low pressure system brought most of Kentucky a coating of light snow. But some spots in southeastern Kentucky saw close to 2 inches. In the higher elevations, some spots saw nearly several inches. Initial reports in Fayette County show nearly 1/4 of an inch of wintry mix. Now remember, only a trace of that was snow. whereas in Pike County, more than 3/4 of an inch of wintry precipitation. According to the National Weather Service, the last time central Kentucky saw snow on Halloween was in 1954, and it was only 1/10 of an inch. This system also brought cold enough air to force temperatures almost 30 degrees below normal.
We're setting ourselves up. It looks like to be a rough winter right now with the way the cold air is really starting to build up, and just like this early intrusion, you know, we're going to have more of this, and it's going to become a little more common. We'll see some warm spells, but we'll also see some big blasts of cold air lining up.
While most of the precipitation is all but done, it's the clearing skies that need your attention, because overnight tonight, temperatures could fall into the record-setting mid to low 20s. In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
The weather is expected to be a little warmer come Tuesday, just in time for Election Day. And with the election now only 4 days away, the candidates for Senate are making one last push to increase voter turnout. Allison Lundergan Grimes was in Lexington today with a former First Lady campaigning at her side. We sent WKYT's Whitney Wetzel to the Grimes campaign stop.
Hundreds of people turned out to support Allison Lundergan Grimes in the home stretch of her campaign for U.S. Senate. Former First Lady and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton also showed up to support Grimes in her efforts.
Well, we are laying the groundwork right now for my granddaughter, for your child, for every boy and girl in Kentucky. And there's just a big gulf between the heart and the energy and the caring and compassion and the smarts that Allison will bring to that challenge than her opponent.
Several Democratic leaders and candidates spoke on Grimes' behalf. All of them stressed a need for change in Washington, something Grimes believes she can provide.
He doesn't have a plan for the future. He doesn't have a vision that's for me or for you, because our senator, bought and paid for by the millionaires and billionaires, that's all he's been looking out for.
More jobs, a higher minimum wage, and equal pay are promises that Grimes plans to give Kentuckians if elected.
We won't be bought. We're not up for sale. And come November 4th, Mitch McConnell, you're fired. We got a new hire. Make sure you send Allison Lundergan Grimes to Washington to fight for you. Thank you all very much.
Clinton and Grimes also made an appearance in northern Kentucky this morning. Today is the second time that the former Secretary of State has come to Kentucky to support Grimes. In Lexington, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
Transylvania University hosted today's campaign rally. In Mount Sterling today, Senator Mitch McConnell met with voters. He too is looking for last-minute support in the days leading up to the election. We sent WKYT's Garrett Weimer to Montgomery County, where he's tracking McConnell's push into the home stretch.
With just 3 days until voters head to the polls, Senator McConnell is crisscrossing the state. He's calling it his countdown to victory. And today he was here in Montgomery County stumping with Congressman Andy Barr.
This is not an issue of a do-nothing Congress. This is a problem of a do-nothing Senate. And the only way to change that is to change the majority leader.
The man these folks hope takes that role if Republicans take the Senate.
Your senator, your majority leader, Mitch McConnell.
Inside a crowded clubhouse at Old Silo Golf Club, McConnell largely talked coal and the role of government.
But look, I know why you're all here today. You're worried about the future of your country. These people in the White House need to be stopped, and it all starts right here next Tuesday.
He also took swipes at his opponent and the former president and first lady she's aligned herself with.
There's not a dime's worth of difference between a Clinton Democrat and an Obama Democrat, I can tell you that.
McConnell says it's a high-stakes election for Kentucky and the country, trying to drive these voters out to the polls on Tuesday.
And there's nobody the president wants to beat worse than me. And nobody I want to have a bad night Tuesday night more than him.
Senator McConnell is also scheduled to be at the Scott County GOP rally, which started just a few minutes ago. In Montgomery County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Tomorrow, be sure to watch Kentucky Newsmakers for an hour-long special edition featuring interviews with both Grimes and McConnell on the CW Lexington at 6:30. Right now, UK is in Tiger country, and a win today would have made the Wildcats bowl eligible. WKYT's Lee K. Howard joins us now with highlights.
Yeah, it wasn't very easy. The Wildcats haven't won a road game since 2010. It's been since 2009 since UK has won an SEC game on the road. Well, today you said Missouri and the Cats the chance to break that streak and become bowl eligible, and the Cats would come out just flat today. Defensively, they were on the field a lot. Missouri quarterback Matty Mock finds Bud Sasser on the slant. That made it 7-0 Tigers. The Cats sleepwalking offensively, but they would get a lift from freshman tailback Mikel Horton, 6 carries for 60 yards in the first half. Missouri led it 14-3 at the break. As poorly as the Cats played, they still had a chance as late as the fourth quarter. Mock running for his life, and Khalid Henderson nearly picks that one off. Would have scored on that one. The Cats force a field goal, then go down and score themselves. Patrick Tolles to Javis Blue. That cuts the Missouri lead to 20-10. But UK would recover an onside kick, but couldn't do anything with it. As Missouri wins 20-10, UK falls to 5-4 on the season. We will have much more of those highlights and more from around the state coming up a little bit later in sports.
Also coming up, Garth Brooks took time out of his concert-packed weekend to help Coach Cal at the basketball camp for kids. Our sports crew talked with him about the charity Teammates for Kids.